and welcome to In Business Talks 2, a podcast about people who work together as a couple. Learn the secrets of business partnerships, the benefits and pitfalls of working together, be it husband and wife, father and son, mother and daughter, friends, relatives, or any other combination of business partnerships. As well as speaking with other couples, we will let you know of any useful business apps or websites out there that we've discovered to help you with your business.
So we're your hosts, Tracy and Ian Earle, founders of In Business, a networking and business support community. We host online and face-to-face events and we'd love to meet you, so why not come along? The link to book is in our show notes. Today's guests are Emily and Alan Braithwaite of Yellow Tuxedo, and they are online visibility specialists. So without further ado, let's crack on with In Business Talk. Welcome to our In Business podcast. We have with us today Emily and Alan Braithwaite of Yellow Tuxedo. Welcome to you both.
Welcome, guys.
Hi, yeah, you're right.
Yes, thank you. Good to see you on this. Is it sunny where you are, by the way? It's lovely and sunny here today.
No, not even vaguely. The sun disappeared like weeks ago.
Right.
No, we did have one day of sun the other day. It was all right. But yeah, we are in great British winters right now.
It's sunny, but it's freezing. It's absolutely
very cold.
Perishing this morning. So.
Okay, guys, before we get started, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you both do?
What do we do, Alan?
No, I know. We ask ourselves most. No, it is, because I don't think it's fair to roll off kind of the what's written on the footer of the website, so to speak, because we're really more about the people and fun and helping people achieve stuff. How we do it is what we do, but what our focus on is engaging with people, having as much fun as blooming possible, and sharing what we can do to help others achieve their goals. That's what we do. How we do it is. This is now really boring. This is the TLDR part. We are online visibility specialists. I can't even say it most days, but we show businesses how to grow online to be more visible so they can ultimately achieve their goals. That's what we do.
We're massive on small business owners having businesses on their terms. And I think, none of us are cookie cutters with our businesses, but those technical blockers to showing up online are usually the sticking point for many people. It's what you are, what you want to do, where you're going to, but how do I press that button? How do I grow a podcast? How do I do this? Those technical things are really difficult because no one teaches you that. A lot of us are self-learning all the time. So we kind of come in as that kind of person on your shoulder just to kind of say, you're doing well, you're amazing.
Press that button. Go on, press it. It's okay.
Let's get you to that next step. Let's show you how to do this. And we're very much about the how of your online presence.
Yeah,
rather than just
and I think that's important is the how, because a lot of things you these sort of courses, and they tell you that join us for this course, and it's not really a course. They tell you what you should be doing. Yeah. I'm often there sat thinking, no, tell me how. I know sort of what I should be doing, but how do I do that? Yeah. And they miss that bit out, which of course is the main bit, I suppose. Yeah.
we see that. Like I'm about to pick on an industry. I'm not picking on them because they're they're only doing what they do. But it's like you go and see a coach, and the coach says you need a lead magnet, or you need start a podcast, or you need to get on YouTube, and they do it. And it doesn't quite go to plan because the coach, who's absolutely right, they do need to be doing all these things, has missed out the how to do it, so it's kind of, there's so much talk about strategy and everything else, but there's not a lot of noise on this is how you actually do it. So that's why we exist, basically.
I agree. Yeah.
And video as well is so important, isn't it, for getting your personality out there, and well, on podcasts as well, but it's getting the personality into your brand.
Is so and video is so key, and we know that, and those things that everyone's like, content is king, video is king, and it is absolutely true. But what you take as your average Joe there is, I don't want my face on camera, I don't like the sound of my own voice, I'm worried that I'm going to sound stupid. And then you insert, what camera do I use, what speaker do I use, do I need to have a headphone, what do I need? And that again becomes another blocker to you doing the thing. And what we always say with Yellow Tuxedo is, and how we kind of get that, impart that on our clients, is if you have a physical shop, if you are a shopkeeper selling dresses or handbags or whatever, and if someone comes in through your door, you're going to say hi, you're going to have a chat to them, you're going to tell them about what you've got to offer them, you're going to give them the best service ever. But when it comes to doing it online or on video, you go, no one wants to hear from me. And it's exactly
you want me to talk about what I do? Don't be silly.
It's just a virtual shop or a virtual conversation you're having. So it's just trying to help people to understand it doesn't have to be scary, and video is great if you can do it properly, and having that ability to understand which button to press is always an easier way of kind of getting rid of that blocker.
It is though, right? And I was thinking about something you just said then, Emily, and you guys asking, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it universally accepted that it's all about personal brand or branding, and that it is now okay for the person to be the USP in their business? Do we accept that in a kind of universal way, more or less, right? So kind of give or take, right? Yeah. So hold on. So therefore, if we're all different and if we're all the USPs, it has to be on your terms. You do need to put yourself out there you can't then cookie cutter stuff. This is off your cookie cutter comment. And it needs to be different, but it needs to be you when you are being visible to bring people into your ecosystem. And it's all these little kind of things that all come together to help you grow your business, basically, and to be different if you want to be different.
Yeah, definitely.
So I saw a post on LinkedIn that you did the other week, I think. Was it you, Alan?
It wouldn't be me.
Oh, was it? It wouldn't be you. It was how this business came about, because were you in a different business before?
We were.
Yeah, so how did you start then? What happened, guys? Tell us the story. How did you start?
Very different industry.
Story time.
Once upon... Oh, do you want our new opening line? It was the 24th of November 2013 is our new, and we were stood in the rain. It was raining. We were outside.
That'd be the opening chapter to our book.
Yes.
So we have worked together in business for 11 years now. I have to say 11 and a half, maybe 12. I lose track. Who really cares? No one cares. So we've been working together, and previous to Yellow Tuxedo, we actually worked in an outdoor events company. We started that in 2012. Due to the fact that Alan was made redundant and I was at risk of redundancy, and we were about to start our family, and we decided, do you know what? This is a great idea. Let's work together. And we did that. And
I do feel, sorry, slight back part to that. We've been involved in scouting for years. Okay, so we've been outdoors. We've done outdoorsy stuff. We've both been involved in events and everything. So it was really obvious, easy, nothing's ever easy, simple segue for us to start a business in outdoor events. And this one was putting up bell tents.
And also we'd worked in our previous jobs in driving around the country, sitting at office desks, doing that kind of stuff. And actually to go and do something a bit more grassrootsy and outdoors and having some time together was a really nice opportunity. We could have gone and got other jobs, but actually let's start this and see where we go with that. The trouble is when you're working in an events business, especially 10 years ago, it was marketing your business was very tricky, and it was quite new. Social media was still fairly new. Facebook was only 4 years old. And the way you advertised and marketed your business in that kind of industry was you went to wedding fairs or corporate fairs and stood there in the rain, as Alan alluded to with that photograph. Or you spammed with leaflets, or you sat in Facebook groups where every single time someone who's getting married was coming in, you pounce on them and go, I'll go first. And it became really labour intensive. And what we found was that we didn't want to do that. And that wasn't the most efficient way that we could be marketing the business. So we kind of used our previous skill sets a little bit and started looking at ways we could move it all online. And
it was everything we were running away from. We thought, we probably should bring that back a bit. It may work.
So we went with video first. We built a YouTube channel that was very successful. We looked at different ways in which we could use social media and those messages, and using our supplier network as well to kind of build out a really successful online presence. And that was success in terms of we were working with the BBC. We were on ITV's This Morning due to being on top of Google. We managed to secure some brilliant PR. We managed to get working with the Law Commission, the UK Law Commission, to help be on the consultation panel for the change to outdoor weddings, which was amazing due to them finding us online. Yeah. And that was kind of the big thing. We weren't going out outwardly to find these opportunities. They were finding us. And
because we'd built this online presence. Can I just say, so, you were talking about suppliers and Instagram following. There was a big thing, I remember, when we were doing websites all that time, the wedding industry all the time. For anyone in the industry would go, oh, my followers just full of other suppliers. We want our followers to be full of suppliers, because every single one of those suppliers on our follower list is a contact, is a recommending us, etc., etc. So we were like going, we want more suppliers following us, while other suppliers were going, oh, I don't want any more suppliers following me. So it was just kind of a complete flip around in many different aspects.
And we ran that business for 10 years, and it sadly died due to COVID, and we won't go into the woes of that too much. But pre that, what we were finding is a lot of the supplier network that we had were going, Emily, Alan, it's great that you're doing this, but we have no idea how you are doing it, and we're not getting that kind of level of success right now. What are you doing? And we assume that everyone had that kind of more technical knowledge, and like, why are you not doing it?
Yeah, why? We genuinely used to sit there and go, why is no one else doing this? It's really efficient and simple and working.
It's that efficiency. It was building what was a global business, really. Even though we are geographic centric, we were looking at growing a franchise and all those other opportunities that come from being online and having a wider presence. So we were doing a lot of ad hoc support, and we were giving a little bit of advice here and everywhere. And it wasn't until our accountant said, Emily, do you know what, Emily, you really should look at formalizing this. And we had an outdoor business that was very seasonal, so we would be working March through to September, October. Our winters would be quieter, and we went, do you know what, let's start Yellow Tuxedo as a bit of a winter project. Let's just see how this goes. It could be our exit strategy as we're looking to leave the event industry. We're growing a family. It's not sustainable to be out in a field every single weekend when you've got 3 young children under your feet. It's just not going to work. So we started Yellow Tuxedo, and thank God we did, because the next year COVID hit. The first business died a very sudden death, and
it was like Kaiser Soze, wasn't it? It was gone.
It really did. We were one of those really unfortunate couples businesses that fell through every crack financially. We didn't get any furlough, we didn't get any financial support, we lost 100% of our revenue overnight, and we luckily had started that Yellow Tuxedo train, and actually it was the best time to be running that business, because what we found was at that point, and we started a project called the Digital Circus within Yellow Tuxedo in the June of lockdown. So everyone was sat still doing nothing. And a lot of these bricks and mortar businesses, or plumbers and electricians and musicians, were standing still because they did not know how to put their business into an online space. So we were there at the right time to go, okay, arm around the shoulder, let's take you on this adventure with us, and let's help build you out as well. So that's how we got to Yellow Tuxedo.
Why did you call it Yellow Tuxedo?
Oh, okay.
You knit your own jumpers.
No.
Do you know what? Anyone who would like to knit us a jumper next year, next Christmas, I really want a yellow Christmas jumper. They're very hard to find.
I should imagine they are.
There's kind of 2 answers about this. There's why we are literally called Yellow Tuxedo and where it came from, and then there's kind of what it actually means as well. So the literal reasoning is, years ago, I'll try and do the absolutely short abridged version because it's a long story.
Won't be, hold on.
I don't believe in favourites. I feel life's too varied, the world's too varied to be able to choose one thing, right? So how do you have a favourite band, film, etc., when you're young? But at some point, I'm not quite sure why, I decided I wanted to choose a favourite colour, and I chose yellow because at the time, I think I was about 17, 18, it was, it was okay. It wasn't pink, it wasn't blue. Emily's like dropping because the story's already too long. It was a nice universal happy bright color. Then in a pub with a mate once, I said I was never going to get married. If I do, I'm wearing a yellow suit in a kind of 2 fingers up styly to it all. And then met Emily, did get married, did get engaged, and my mate texts me going, I take it you're wearing a yellow suit then, 15 years later or whatnot. And so I looked at Emily looked at me, and we went, yes, I am going to wear a yellow suit to our wedding. So, which is another story, which I will save for another day. So then got married in a yellow suit.
And I always joke, it was the only wedding I've been to where it was all about the groom and nothing about the bride. You get what I was wearing. No one really cared what I was wearing, but it was all about you in the clown suit.
Yellow suit doesn't scan as well as Yellow Tuxedo. So we changed it to Yellow Yellow Tuxedo, and it just kind of sat there. There'd actually been a couple of businesses before this one called Yellow Tuxedo. Like I was a IT contractor at one point, and anyone else. But so it sat there. But it also signifies about standing out in the crowd. Now, it's really important when we're talking about standing out in the crowd. We're not talking about standing up wearing yellow, going, check me out, look at me. Actually is an element of that, but it's about underpinning it with strategy and methodology, so you are organically standing out in the crowd and
being your version of your yellow suit.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be that. It could be just your tone of voice. It could be.
Is that you just trying to shut me up?
Yeah. And did you wear a nice yellow dress, or were you?
I did not. I wore yellow shoes. I had some very subtle under all my, and I had feathers in my dress. Seriously, I look at my wedding dress now and go, that was definitely not an Emily choice, but I got.
Well, it was your choice.
Oh,
is this marriage couple counselling now? It was
I had bridesmaids going, that's the dress.
Were you influenced, Emily? Did you think you were influenced there?
Oh, always. The thing is, this is our couple dynamic, which is it's been how we've been for the last 18 years together, is that Alan's a very particular character, which is an amazing character, and I just go along for the ride most of the time. It's quite fun. And that dynamic works for us, doesn't it, really?
So what's the vision then for Yellow Tuxedo? Are you wanting to grow into a huge corporation, or is it a lifestyle business? What is it?
I think, we've been talking about this a lot recently on our podcast, but our version of world domination.
So how that looks practically is no, we don't. We don't want to be a global corporation. We don't want a team. We don't want to be an agency. We don't want any of that. We think there's opportunity to be world dominators in different ways there for being able to manage that as just myself and Alan, and that's been big for us because what comes with having a team is a whole bunch of other stresses that we don't need in our life, and the creativity that comes from us as a couple together allows us to take that business in the direction whatever we want to do at any point to fit our lifestyle, and that's great for us. But we still do believe, when we joke about world domination, we had this on our podcast a few weeks ago, someone said it's not about necessarily global like this, but actually we have the ability to be global. We have the ability to impact anyone. We have clients in Dubai and America. We can do that from our home to the entire world. But we want to be successful. We want to be financially free. That's what everyone probably wants.
Choice
and the choice to take it in whatever direction we want. Really.
Interestingly, just continue that. We do kind of feel we sit more in the creator space. Like we quite like the creator economy, and we feel a lot of small businesses actually do it the wrong way around. They go, I want to monetize what I can do. They monetize, and then they go, oh, poo, I need someone to buy what I'm monetizing now. So they then go and grow an audience, or try and grow an audience, a community, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas in the creator economy, and we have started on that more small business route, but in the creator economy, they create content, they start growing, they grow an audience, and they go, let's monetize this bad boy. And it's a much kind of more natural process of that passion project growing. And so many small businesses are passion projects that following a more creator route would actually fit a bit better for them if they were not introverts and happy putting their faces on camera, etc., etc. But that's a side story. We like to see ourselves more as creators because we enjoy the video content, the audio, the podcasting, and everything else.
So what are your roles within the business then? Do you do different things? Is there a set role for each of you? Or?
We're laughing because this is not the first time that question has been asked to us. So we do have...
what answer are we giving today?
We do have
They're all true, but it does change.
We do have clear... defined roles. We have clear parts of the business that we prefer to work in and work on, but we do both cross over what we're doing as well. So interesting, when we first started this business, I was probably the more creative of the two of us. I was the one with the big ideas and the let's put this on paper. Let's look how we visualize this. And Alan was more of a strategic thinker. And he's obviously got his IT background, and he's very more technical than I was. And what we've done over the last couple of years is we've reversed roles. We've swapped over. So I'm more of the facts and figures and getting stuff done and the learning and the delivery, and Alan is our creative thinking now. And Alan's amazing ability to go from 0 to 1,000 and back again and have all of the ideas and all of the thoughts about it is a superpower for him. But you are much more leading with the the creative content and the editing and the visuals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's allowed my kind of love of the tech and creativity to come. I'm quite happy delivering sessions and have done and regularly do. But Emily also likes it, and I like this. So it has kind of naturally happened.
We also
it's quite
found
a nice
that
place.
I'm picking on you. I don't mean to avoid, but
I did notice this.
Alan's personality is very bubbly, and again, it's brilliant, and it's very good for motivational stuff and getting people geared up to getting stuff done. When it transfers to doing learning sessions with our clients, actually, we realised that I'm a bit slower. So it's actually when you're looking at trying to meeting our clients where they're at rather than where we want to take them, I take more of a slower approach and kind of keep those sessions.
Whatever.
Let's go for the world domination.
You tell yourself this.
You do it better then, basically, Emily.
Yeah, that's what Emily's thinking.
But it's also a great opportunity that we do help and support. If I'm having a low point, or I joked earlier that I'm not really on LinkedIn at the moment. I can't stand it, but I
can't say that. We've been told off for saying that.
I said it. I don't like it.
Because you can't do business on your terms and then say you don't.
But I know that Alan will pick up the slack on that, and I know his visibility will be a lot higher than mine. And same with client delivery. If I'm feeling like I can't deliver, Alan will step in, and I'm happy to get involved with more of the sales calls and that kind of stuff. So it's quite flexible, but we do have clear kind of areas where we work better.
Yeah. And do you find that being in business together over the years, has that strengthened your relationship in any way, do you think?
Or changed
it, yeah.
Massively changed it.
I mean, we wouldn't actually know how much it's changed it because we don't know what the alternative is. But there's, you're choosing to spend time with the person you've chosen to spend time with.
Yeah.
So it can't it shouldn't not come. It shouldn't be a bad thing. It should be a good thing. And it has been a good thing. I'm not skirting around it. I guess the answer is that we don't know the upper. Well, I'll tell you what we do think, and I think I may be preempting a question, but I'm going to roll with this anyway, if that's okay.
Go on then.
Right. So when you are in a more traditional stereotypical relationship where you may have employment over here and employment over there and children over here, three different areas, you're always pulling against each other. So if I'm employed here and Emily's employed there as we were, then we're leaving the house at different times, we've got bosses demanding different things of us, we've got different goals you're trying to achieve, different holiday opportunities, and it doesn't actually allow for a nice environment. I'm trying to think. I don't think nice is the right word, but you get the gist, right? Yeah. It's not going to be as smooth as it could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're working together, none of that exists. No. Okay. I'm actually trying to skirt over the bit I think you may ask us in a bit. None of that exists. We're just working in this together. So when it comes to the school run, there's none of that. Oh, but I need to leave the house at 7 today. Yeah, but I need to leave. Mum, Dad, can you do the school run, etc. Grandparents. And that doesn't exist. So we've removed that from our life. Yes, we've put other things in place, right? Like we're growing a business. But, I quite like the fact we've removed some of those things.
It is that fluidity that we get, and yes, I chose to marry the guy at the end of the day. I quite like him, and the fact that and I always laugh when people go, I can never work with my husband. How do you do that?
Yeah, we get that, don't we?
I find it quite easy, actually. I don't think there's any issue there. I mean, we have the old little frictiony bits here and there, but doesn't everyone anyway?
Yeah, of course, that's life, isn't it?
Of course it's life, and you just kind of, it feels more hyper focused because you're working and you're living with him and you've got whatever. But then the flip side is Alan and I, and some of our business goals that are personal to us, where that we did not want to be in a car driving to Bristol at 7 a.m. doing that. We wanted to be there for the kids, and the kids are a massive part of our why and what we're doing. So every single morning and every single afternoon, we go and do the school run together. We have done for 10 years. Give or take the odd occasion when we had to do other things, but every single day, the two of us walk hand in hand. We walk to school together with kids and get to do that. And how many people can say they can do that? And that's, for us, that was a non-negotiable and a real massive part of our why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And those are the things as well that create, they're the valuable things in life, aren't they? The memories, they're the things that you take with you. You treasure those sort of things. It's not about wealth and all that. It's about the moments like that where you can take the children to school and collect them and bring them on. And the kids will remember that as well. They'll remember all the years.
I'm sure my son doesn't.
Yeah, well, maybe. But I think they will to a degree. They'll think, oh, well, yeah, my parents did this for me. And I think that's different. Yeah, that's the thing.
They probably notice that you are there and some parents aren't. How old are your children?
We've got 3. Our eldest is 10. We've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
I think so our eldest is in her year 6. But I think these primary school years, and primary school. So I had infant and junior when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But this primary school, 7 years for her, year R all the way to now, has been amazing. Like absolutely amazing. The sense of community, the being involved in the school, the other parents and children around, watching these kids grow up, watching families have kids in buggies who are now running around, being pregnant into the buggy, now running around at school.
You're going to cry.
No, I've absolutely loved it. I get a bit caught up in the compound effect of the school run. It's like 2:45 comes round extremely quickly when you're running your own business, right? It's like, no. And then nothing happens until the kids are in bed. It's like, it's full on kids.
Yeah.
But it's been brilliant, isn't it? We've loved the plays, we've loved the school fairs, we've absolutely loved it. And luckily we have got another 5.5 years left of it. You know what? They don't tell you this. Sorry. Any parents to be out there, it is amazing. It's tough, but amazing. But one of the things they don't tell you is that you could be doing the school run to that school for 12 and a bit years. I think we worked it out. It's like just over a decade of going to that school. You don't factor that in when you're thinking about starting a family. That is a lot.
It is.
Yeah. If you think about the oldest for when you get the youngest one through as well. Yeah. Yes.
So what? Question. What?
I suppose you've kind of answered that question. The best thing about being in business together.
Well, the bit we didn't answer that we skirted round is how making it work, and for us, it's about that aligned goal. But we had. What was I talking about?
I have no idea.
I've lost myself. When I was using the example of the more potentially traditional family, I don't think traditional exists anymore. And then they don't have that aligned goal. There is that pulling apart. But I think when you're in business and you have an aligned goal, you don't argue as much. The frictions removed. So it's like, is this helping us achieve that goal? Whether that's multi-billion-pound business or whether that's a fantastic life doing the school run, is it achieving that goal? And I think that's the bit when our peers are going, I could never work with my other half. I think that's the bit they've not quite got their head round of actually removing those frictions and having that aligned goal is the key part.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced then together as a business? Apart, obviously, if you go back to the original,
I don't think we got enough time to listen.
I tell you, one of the biggest things that I find as the wife side of it. And I sit in a lot of, and I always joke about these little groups, female entrepreneur type groups. And I'm not very much of a fempreneur.
Oh, you're going there first. Interesting.
You'll get it in a second, Alan. It's like I'm not that type of fempreneur. But what I find is some of the, and this is such a sweeping statement. I'm so sorry if anyone's going to be offended by this, but a lot of these fempreneurs are starting a side hustle business in those spaces, and they are underpinned by their partner who has a full-time job, who has some of that wage.
You are so getting abuse online for that.
I don't care. It's my opinion. So when you are working as a couple in business, we have no plan B. We don't have that safety net of having a full-time wage coming in through the door. We don't have all of our eggs in one basket pretty much, and there is no plan B. So that challenge is massive. And we've felt, we won't go into the ins and outs of it, but over the years, some financial pinches. We lost a business at the end of the day. And it's that kind of understanding that we really need to be tight on and being aligned together and understanding what we're trying to achieve and working it out together. And that's where friction doesn't help there, because we have no choice but we have 3 children at the end of the day. Other challenges in couples of business is it's that time management we are working together, we live together, we have the children together. We've got 3 of the bloody things. They're lovely kids. But
well, I know. I remember one. I'll tell you, there was an actual example. So we're bimbling along in the business, hustling along, bimbling along as you do. And I think the kids were back at school, but COVID was still about, right? And we've got a week of work plan. We've got some webinars, we got some client work, etc., etc., etc. And then our eldest 2 get sent home with COVID. And our youngest gets sent home from preschool at the time because the teachers had COVID. So they needed to close it down. So we're like, should we stop then? Should we stop? And it just stops, and you go, okay. And then actually, this is a genuinely true story. Then our internet went down, right?
Yeah.
Remember, didn't it? Our internet went down, and we're like, we're doing a webinar for a community based out of Dorset we live in Hampshire. So we need to it's irrelevant where they're located, it's someone else. We've got a business to run, client work. We've got our own digital circus sessions to run. We've got no internet and we can't leave the house because we're now in isolation and they want us to homeschool the kids. So it's like, okay, do we just sit down and watch a film and deal with it all in a moment?
That family balancing is tough. And, last year, our eldest child was in hospital for a substantial amount of time. So therefore, our focus had to be on our family and not the business. And that's the stuff they don't really tell you in the business manuals of when you start a business, is to how you prioritize and ultimately family is always going to be top of the tree. But wouldn't it be nice to have the bills coming and being paid all the time as well, and like everyone paying invoices and all of the stuff, and like being multi-billionaires so you don't even have to worry about money. I think that to us has been the thing for us, is to make sure that we are financially secure for the kids and the business is consistently growing.
And do you find that you talk about the business in your downtime as well? I mean, do you say, right, we get to 5 o'clock and then that's it, we'll stop, we won't talk about business anymore? Or do you, because
all the time,
we don't stop. And someone said this to us the other day. I think actually it might have been your sister a couple of months ago, Alan.
I'll pick on my family. What a surprise. I mention her family. That's it, right? I'm showing the door for a day. But
having the importance to things like date nights and having...
Yeah, but she is right, kind of right.
Absolutely. And having the importance of having time away from it. But what people don't factor in outside of our bubble is the fact that we bloody well love what we're doing. And our passion is what we're doing, and my hobby is doing what we're doing, and Alan's hobby is doing what we're doing. And so why would we stop talking about it? Yes, absolutely, there needs to be those down times when we are 100% focused on playing Guess Who on the floor with the kids, absolutely. And we will do that. But in the evenings we talk about business. When we are laying in bed next to each other, we go, should we and we're listening to, and what we're doing in our business is listening to other people's stuff. And we have so many clients who are starting podcasts and videos. So we spend our evenings putting YouTube on the TV and watching videos because that's our pleasure, which sounds really quite sad. But
no, I don't think it is.
We're pretty similar, aren't we, really? We talk about our business. I mean, if it's your passion, then you can't help it, can you? You can't just switch off, can you? Hear some people say, I switch off at 5 o'clock, but we don't. If I have an idea that pops into my head, I have to get it out there, otherwise I'll forget it. Memory span of a goldfish. So if I don't say it to Tracy, then it's gone. So it's just, you just got to get these things out there and discuss it. There
is a really strong narrative that we do need to switch off. We shouldn't be doing it and everything else. But at the same time, as long as you're okay doing what you are doing, then it's fine, which comes back to, we're not all the same, business on your terms and all the rest of it, which is just so important. And why not? And what else am I going to do in the evening? Like, I'm either going to realistically, I'm going to tidy the house, perhaps go out, right? I do my exercise in the morning. Netflix. Or you're going to watch some TV. So it's like, well, if I'm going to watch TV, I could be watching a business friend who's made a fab bit of content, or something like that. Or edit my own stuff.
Do you want to? I normally ask this question, but do you want to ask my favourite question?
No, I'll let you do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No pressure, Tracy.
I'm excited now.
Well, we'll do ladies first because that's tradition. Emily.
Yeah.
What is how can I put this?
Oh no, I'm nervous.
What is your other half's worst habit? Work habit, that is, at work. What really gets you? What really, grinds?
Oh no! Because if I say it out loud, he's going to either mute my microphone.
My finger is over the button.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, who are you?
His worst habit, apart from the fact that he starts sentences and doesn't finish them, which is really annoying. I can't mind read, Anna, and you need to tell me what you're actually about to say. I think sometimes is his exuberance and his ultimately, I'm really, really excited today when I've literally just come downstairs. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I've got a cup of coffee and he's got a whiteboard going, let's do this.
Oh, I'm okay with that. I'll take that any day of the week.
It's just, sometimes he just goes a little bit fast.
Yeah, a bit too much, too full on sometimes.
Well, that's not too bad, really. And so, Alan, you get your turn now. Come on. Yeah. So what's Emily's worst work habit, by the way? I
feel I'm about to throw Emily under the bus in comparison because I feel mine was like, a poo sandwich. It's like, that's annoying, but ultimately you're exuberant coming up with new ideas, I think mine is when we are sat down having a chat or a meeting like, Emily, can we just discuss this for 10 minutes? You'll be all over the place.
That's not fair. Well, I'm halfway through a job when you
No, that's not fair. I'll go, let me know when you're ready, and you'll go, I'm ready. But then you'll check your phone, you'll look out the window, you'll go, is that the postman? And I'm like, I only want 10 minutes to discuss this. And it's true.
Well done. We're going to have a massive blowout.
No, we're not going to. But you are fabulous, so it's a small price to pay.
Oh, you recovered well there, Alan. Well done.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah.
So what do you think's been the key to your success so far?
Oh,
how are we defining success first? No, I'm joking. Go on.
Yeah.
We've lasted since 2012, and we're not divorced yet. That's a good measure of success, right? Yeah. I think the key has always been, and Alan already said it earlier, it's having that defined future goal. We're not quite sure of the path, and that's totally fine. We know where we're trying to get to, and actually trying to have as much fun on the way. And that is one of our and Alan will always say this in any video we do, our major sort of KPI is it fun?
One KPI, is it fun?
If it's not fun and we're not enjoying it, we don't do it. And
interested.
Yes, that probably means that we've got to success a little bit slower than other businesses because we're non-negotiable on some of those things. But oh my God, has it been a fun ride?
Well, the other things is we say yes to something because it's fun that may not have any bearing on the growth of the business or whatever else. But it's a story, yeah, absolutely. And it will make us smile. So we're quite happy doing it.
And what sort of advice then would you give to any couples or people in any sort of relationship going into business? Have you got any advice that you would give them?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one. Mine would just be align that goal. Agree what you're trying to achieve at the start.
That would be the big one. Is starting from the very start. Have those conversations, those frank conversations. Because if you get a few years down the line, you realise that you're pulling in different directions, and one of you does want like massive global domination and wants to have an agency of 50,000 staff and do that, and one of you just wants to have a hobby business, then that's going to never work out. So really working out what you're trying to do with that, and then finding something that you're both passionate about. So you could go and sell toilet seat covers if you really want to, but if you're both going, it's not really floating my boat.
But that's a really interesting point. So we're not specifically passionate about putting tents up, and we're not specifically passionate about online visibility per se, right? But what we are passionate about is people, interacting with people, helping people. We don't like helping, we try not to say that. Supporting people in achieving community connections and conversations. So as long as we can do community connections, conversations and content, we don't care what we're doing, right? It doesn't really matter, because when we're putting up a bell tent in the wedding industry, we're still doing all that, but we're ticking a bit of an outdoor box as well. In this industry, we're still doing all of those four things. Yeah, it was just we're not as out and about and seeing as much sun, but we love all this, the tech, the podcast setup, etc. So it's as long as it's ticking those kind of four things for us, then all is good in the world. And sometimes it's not about it's not about the business, what you're monetizing is what you're passionate about. It's what your personal boxes it ticks.
Yeah. And would you do it all again? Yeah. Going back 10 years?
Would you change anything? Is there anything you might change? You might do differently?
That question was asked of us yesterday. We had this conversation yesterday, and I was talking to my friend in the pub about it. And I was like, actually, no. Would not change a thing, would not do it again, because ultimately, if you go back and change stuff that you did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you wouldn't be where you are now.
No.
And it's those failures and those changes and those things that went not quite on the right path, that's the whole tapestry of life, isn't it? And that's what gets you where you are right now. So no, wouldn't change a thing apart from, I don't know, you always say investing when you're a 60.
Well, it's really interesting.
I'm going to say, is there anything you do differently, maybe?
So my only thing is, right, I'm quite
married Gerard Butler.
Yeah, I'm quite married Gerard. Well, hold on, right. I'm getting a raw deal here today. My thing, there's so much in life you can't change, right? You can't affect the day, like our children being ill, actually, and other things you can't affect, you can't change. But there's so much you could remove if you did a few things early. You could remove the conversations about the bills and, the car's broken again, what we're going to do. And you can remove those things. So I'm massive, I think, on in hindsight. Do you know what? I would have perhaps worked a bit harder on the financials at a younger age to make this part. My head doesn't quite think like, what am I going to do in 30 years' time? But now I'm here, I'm thinking, actually, I should have done that, But my only caveat is, when the chips are down, it forces you to be more. I was going to say do something you might not normally do, but that's not right. It forces you to think in a different way when the chips are down. And I don't think that can ever be replaced. That can't be. You can't have, a portfolio of properties giving you a base wage for you to go and start your own business and replicate that what you will do when the chips are down. And I think that forces creativity. It forces so many amazing things to happen from actually a bit of a cruddy situation of I having no money at the time. But yeah, there is this bit of me that goes, sort it out when you're in your late teens, early 20s to make this bit way more fun and enjoyable and more choices ultimately.
Yeah.
It's about having choice, isn't it?
That's what life's about, isn't it? Choice, yeah.
Oh, it's been really good talking to you.
Just before you go, guys, if people want to get in touch with you, you're a bit preemptive there, Tracy. If people do want to
come on, Tracy.
If people do want to get in touch with you guys and find out more about what you do and how you can support them, what's the best way?
Well, they can either visit our website, which is www.yellowtuxedo.co.uk, or they can find us all across the internet on any platform. I say any because we are on all of them, at Yellow Tuxedo, and we're always happy to have a little chat with you. So come and find us. Come and hang out. We'd love to see you.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll put those details in the show notes as well, so people can find you.
Yeah, but they won't find you on LinkedIn. Is that right?
Well, I know I am on LinkedIn. I'm probably just not as active as I should be on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but then you also can't do everything, and you shouldn't do everything. So
absolutely true. Oh well, it has been really brilliant talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
And, we love this conversation.
It's been a real pleasure. Yes, good to see you all again.
And I think that's probably wraps it up for today.
Thank you, guys. It's been really lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
That's the worst ending you've ever done.
I was on board with it. I was like, that's reality right there.
Yeah, you can go if you like.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's almost goodbye and good riddance. That was rubbish. No, it's been lovely to chat to you guys. Thank you for your time. It's been really nice to find out more about you and your business.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And now we come to our knowledge share of the week. So what do we have this week as our share, Tracy?
Well, we've got one called Mix Kit, and it's free assets for your next video project. So there's stock videos, there's stock music, there's some great sound effects, and some video templates. But I'll just give you an example of one of the sound effects. There we go. How's that?
Well, that sounds super, that one, Tracy.
So I think you could just have lots of fun listening to the sound effects. But yeah, mixkit.co. That's what that is. We'll put the details in the show notes. Let us know if you try it and what you think.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode. We hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful. We'd love to see you at one of our networking events. Be sure to check out our website for upcoming event details.
If you'd like to learn more about networking, why not take a look at our networking know-how courses designed to help you improve your networking skills. We also have a series of books available on Amazon, such as How to Improve Your Business Networking Skills, 52 Tips to Help You with Your Networking. our Notably Networking one-to-one book, which is the place to keep all your notes from those follow-up one-to-ones, and not forgetting our 90 Days to Your Success journal, where you can plan, set and plot the actions you will take to achieve your goals.
We hope you'll join us again next time, and don't forget to rate, review and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening, we really appreciate it, and until next time, this is Ian and Tracy, and together
we are in business. Goodbye.
Goodbye.